What's up, everybody? Hope everybody had a great Christmas. Happy New Year. It is the guys, Fan Fenderson, Dre Davis, myself, Anthony Likes, and we are the Elephant in the Room podcast, brought to you by Let Me Say This. Fellas, time has come. Playoff quarterfinals. We're going to start off with the game, the long playoff game on New Year's Eve. That being Miami versus Ohio State here, Arlington, Texas, Jerry World, Goodyear Cotton Bowl. What is our thoughts on this game?
22-year matchup in the making. That's really crazy. Yeah. 22 years later, rematch.
I think with this game, I think it'll be a defensive game. I hope Miami can pull the upset, but I think they don't have enough offense to beat Ohio State. They have the athletes, but offensively, I don't think they have enough. Also, what I'm looking to see is Miami's defense against Ohio State's offense. They got Tate and Smith on the outside, along with Saying at the quarterback. I want to see how they match up against those South Florida boys, those athletes. So with that, I'm pulling for Miami, but I think due to their lack of offense, I think Ohio State wins by a very small margin.
Yeah, I like that. A small marginal victory, especially at this point in the playoffs, is probably what it's going to take in just about every game. But more importantly, in this game, you got two very stout defenses. You got experience at quarterback on one side. On the other side, you got a quarterback that's making his first college football playoff start. And actually, like we talked about a couple days ago, Carson Beck actually just making his second start in the college football playoff. So still a lot of inexperience there. And then just seeing different teams, Ohio State, the defense, just like last year, is the strong horse of their team. And I don't expect any fall offs on that side of it. Of course, Tate and Jeremiah Smith. I mean, what else would we really expect but for them to put on a show out there? I think it's up to Miami to get to Julian Saying early and often and as much as they can if they want any shot at winning this game. The neutral site part of it at this point is the beautiful part of it. It being in Jerry World, being on New Year's Eve, some of that anxiety is not as high, but I mean, it's still a playoff game. Coaching is going to play just as much of a part in it. You got Cristobal on one side. He's got his team in this spot. He thought it was going to be in this spot last year, but now you got to take advantage. You got to execute. You just beat a really good team in Texas A&M a couple weeks ago. Now you get a chance to prove to the committee, again, like I said a couple days ago, you get to prove to the committee, to the country, to the teams that got left out that you belong in these playoffs. And what other way can you do that than to beat Ohio State? And so as much as, in all truth and honesty, I want to side with Ohio State in this game, and I do still think ultimately they may end up winning, I'm actually going to side with the underdog this time. You guys heard me talk about Lambeau Beck being one of my favorite collegiate quarterbacks earlier in the season. So I got to side with him this time. It may or may not be his last game. I'm hoping that it's not his last game. Hopefully he can overcome some of his early season troubles. But I got Miami.
All right, here I go. Y'all know, my usual spiel with Miami. Miami is always that one like, hey, we invite them out on a date, have a good time on the date, but it's just like, for some reason, we just can't close the deal. We can't get that second date. They finally broke through. Guess what? They went on their first date on the road. Sloppy game, but nonetheless, a win is a win. It's the playoffs now, so we survive in advance. And guess what? Miami now gets a second date. You know what I'm saying? Shout out, like you said, I don't think they have enough offense outside of, it seems, Malachi Tony. But the defense, I think the defense for Miami can carry them to victory. I think their defense is more than likely is going to have to create short fields for Miami's offense to give them whatever type of points they may need, whether it's 6 or 3. You just want to be able to, at the end of the game, you want to be able to look at the scoreboard and say we won. Because we've seen games with, our team both times. The loss on the stat sheet, won on the scoreboard. You know what I'm saying? So, but like you, Dre, and I wouldn't even do this in years past, but I'm going to go with Miami for the simple fact, I think Ohio State, yeah, they got that win over Texas. They beat Michigan, and we ain't even going to get into that little sideshow because I don't really talk about stuff like that. But I think Ohio State is Big Ten's versions of Texas A&M. Okay, you get your one signature win, Texas A&M one signature win versus Notre Dame early in the season. Okay, same with Ohio State. They beat Texas. We seen what Texas went on to be. I ain't gonna say sloppy, just lackluster competition and stacked wins, and now we're here. You know what I'm saying? Then the one team that they actually played outside of Texas, they lose. So I'm gonna go with Miami as well. I think, you know what I'm saying? I don't really got no score or nothing, but it is gonna kind of be one of those. I would say the combined score at the most will be 40. I'm gonna go 44 and a half. So a 24 to 20 maybe.
48 somewhere
24 to 21 maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe even a 23 to 20, 20 to 17, something like that. But I do have Miami winning, going on to the, I don't know what the other semifinal game is. I think it's the Fiesta Bowl to face Ole Miss, or Georgia.
They'll be in the Fiesta Bowl. Yeah. I got to pull it up.
Yeah, Ole Miss or Georgia. But yes, I do think Miami. And they're a 10-point underdog. That's crazy, man. I know.
Yeah, I think that's a lot.
I think that's a little bit high for a playoff game. I think 5.5 Ohio State would have been reasonable, but it's like you basically not giving Miami a chance.
Is that Ohio State's defense shining through in that line though, in that spread? You think?
They gotta be.
Yeah,
most definitely, because they do have, like I said, that is a NFL level defensive coordinator that they have, but Miami has NFL level pass rushers. So
yeah,
but
can we just briefly touch on what I was saying at the beginning, like, and so I'll say this: I've only ever heard and kind of seen clips in regards to that 2003 game, the first ever national championship that I, as a child, actually paid attention to. Was one of the biggest games in college football history, Pasadena, California, Rose Bowl.
Miami was on a 34-game win streak at the time too, by the way.
And so And so that's what I
remember where we was at watching it. I remember where we was at watching it.
That's what I wanted to get to. Finn, you are older than Anna and myself. And so with that, that's a game that you witnessed as a child. And as a child, I know understanding games then. And knowing what you know now, like, can you just tell us, like, what do you think that historical controversial ending to that game so many years ago, does that play into, in your mind, does that play into tomorrow's game at all?
I don't think it does, due to the fact that it was 22 years ago, and then on top of that, you don't really have the alumni outside of Michael Irvin and all the others that are actually involved, you know what I'm saying, with it like they did back then. Now, if they would, let's just say they had the playoffs back in 2010 or 2013. Yes, but by it being 22 years out, nah. And then on top of that, majority of these kids
don't even understand. They don't even know. They don't even know. Yeah.
So by it being out so far, nah.
It's just good rat poison for us.
Yeah, that's all that is. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, they did play they did a home and home, I want to say between 2010 and 2012.
I believe so. I believe
they had Ja'Cory Harris on Miami, and then I forgot who Ohio State had at quarterback at the time. I know Braxton Miller was probably one of them, but it was so many. But yeah, but it's like at the time Miami was
somewhere different.
They was already at that point. They was at their fall off. They was at the plateau already at the bottom, and Ohio State was just Ohio State just staying along the course. So, but yeah, like with this, like I said, I'm taking Miami. This is a possible game I could have actually attended, but that's neither here nor there. But I'll be okay checking it out from the comforts of my home. And then we're gonna transition along. We're gonna stay on that side of the bracket actually. and we're going to talk about a rematch.
Yep.
Ole Miss went on down to Athens, Georgia, was giving Georgia's defense the business. But fourth quarter came, and Georgia defense finally showed up and made some necessary stops to go on and win that game by a final score of 43-35. May I add, Lane Kiffin was on the sidelines during that game. So what do we think about this game, and how will Kiffin's absence play a factor in this game? And this is the Sugar Bowl, so this is actually an SEC tie-in bowl game. So New Orleans, Louisiana, Big Easy, great city by the way for those who haven't been. But so what do we think about this game?
Physicality and experience. I got Georgia winning due to the fact that they're more experienced and they're going to be physical. If I'm not mistaken, I'm thinking that they're getting some key players back. For instance, I think Kobe Young will be able to play. And then I watched a few of Georgia's practices online. I've seen a few clips. They practicing like it's the second week of the season. So they're very physical.
What you want to do.
So,
and may I add, they had a long layoff. So I think I kind of understand why they doing that.
Yep.
So I'm not going to bet against Kirby with Ole Miss because right now they dog walk Bama even though Bama was hurt. They've had a layoff. They had a chance to rest, but during that rest period, they're being very physical. I think now they're being physical and they have the experience. I think that they beat Ole Miss at least by 2 touchdowns. And with the inexperience with Pete Golden, I think that catches up with them. That's where you're gonna miss Lane in those crucial situations, especially on the offensive
those scenario
side.
type moments, those situational moments, like, hey, what should we do right here? It's 4th and 2, hand it off, or call a play to get a quick. Yeah, I think so.
So I think his absence is gonna really be missed this game.
You got the spread on that?
I'm
pretty sure UGA 3.5 plus
6.5. They got a 6.5 minus 6.5.
Yeah. That's understandable. My take on this, like you said, Georgia. It seemed like Georgia turned into a different team after the 33-game home win streak was snapped. They lose to Alabama on that night. It seemed like Georgia always either they slow start in the season or they slow start in the game, and then bam, they finally they finally run through that wall, and then they a whole different team. So, but I do think I don't want this game to be a sleeper because this is the night capper on New Year's Day. This is the last game of the slate that we have, but yeah, I could see this game kind of being a Georgia 37 to Ole Miss's 20, something along those sorts. It may look close in theory, but Georgia was kind of held them at arm's length from start to finish. They made enough plays and executed more down the stretch. Now, could this possibly be a situation to where Ole Miss could go back and finish the game that they had the first 3 quarters in Athens, and then just go back in the fourth quarter and possibly finish the game with a win? Possibly, but I don't see it happen. Like I said, Georgia's turned into a different football team, so that's what I got as far as that. So I do think UGA wins this one big. No upset here, and then they will go on to the semifinal and face Miami, since I picked Miami. So that's what I got.
Not so fast, my friend. And the reason I say that, Ole Miss, first collegiate playoff football game hosted at home, they won that against a very sorry Tulane team, but they won it nonetheless. Ole Miss,
they beat already.
Ole Miss, one of the best collegiate seasons in program history. Believe that. Not a lot of losses, a lot of experience, a lot of talent, a lot of athletes are still in that building right now. As it stands right now, the coaching staff that Lane Kiffin took with him, they're back ready to coach in a couple days, okay? All right? I see an Ole Miss team that's still hungry. I see an Ole Miss team that says, he may be leaving, but we're here to stay and we're here to fight. All right? With that being said, you're right. Georgia did have a layoff. Georgia did have some time. Georgia last year lost after having that bye.
In the same venue. May I add.
But I'll say all that to say, a few short weeks ago, in Athens, Georgia, the Alabama Crimson Tide came marching into town and took down those Bulldogs. And a couple weeks thereafter, not another loss was put on the Georgia Bulldog schedule. Not one. In that conference championship, they went to Bryant-Denny East, and they took care of business against those said Alabama Crimson Tide. I think after you look at last year's season and you look at how disappointing that loss was after working so hard and having that bye week, I think exactly what being said is exactly the difference. When you look at those clips, you look at the practice routine, you look at the difference in the preparation from last year to this year. Kirby is on a mission. He is on a mission to show his guys, his team, this program, and the country that the Bulldogs are here to stay. They'll be competing for national championships for years to come. So, 3 for 3 on the Georgia Bulldogs taking down the Ole Miss Rebels. Now, do I think it's the most intriguing game out of all four? I certainly do. Do I think it will be the best as far as atmosphere? I certainly do. You got an Ole Miss fan base and a Georgia fan base that's right on top of New Orleans. And they're already down there and they're already going wild. So I think my favorite venue in all of football, Caesar Superdome, as it was formerly named anyway. But one of the best venues of all of college football, one of the best bowl games in all of college football history, the Sugar Bowl, will end up being a classic once again, but it will be in favor of Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldog.
Also, I want to say this is almost like SEC Championship Part 2, man. You know what I'm saying? But hey, we in New Orleans with it.
It's like a what could have been SEC Championship. Like we should have been there and we should have played Georgia again. So let us show you what we could have did if we were in that spot.
Or like I said, like, hey, we was up on them. We just, fourth quarter, they defense made the stops. Finally, Georgia's defense bowled up and made the stops and held them in check. But so I think Ole Miss is probably going to come in a little confident, knowing like, hey, we can move the ball on it. Ole Miss's first drive on offense will be telling how the game can go for them. Because the defense, they gave up 43 points. So, like, I'm not really, okay, Pete Golden, that's your thing. But we seen what you did in Tuscaloosa sometimes, too. So, but the offense for Ole Miss is going to be, that first drive is going to be, we're going to see how telling this game is going to be for them. And they want to at least move the ball enough to where they can, make Georgia drive the length of the field. But credit to Georgia, their offenses has stepped their game up as well. And I kind of want to take a break from talking playoff football. Let's talk some transfer portal news. We've seen it's a lot of things going on. Lil Bro across the state, Auburn Tigers, Cam Coleman planning to enter the transfer portal. Deuce Knight. So I'm assuming Byron Brown is on his way to Auburn. That's Golish's guy. I don't know who else on that team, but like, what are our thoughts on this transfer portal?
There's some other receivers that's coming with them. So it's not by surprise or design that Simmons, I believe if Perry hasn't already declared to leave, Simmons, Perry, Cam, Deuce, it's the same as what we felt a couple years ago when Saban left. Like, these are guys that just know this system in this program is about to go in a different direction. And this guys already sat down with us and told us and introduced us to this situation. And basically you're telling me the situation I was in 6 months ago is about to completely shift. And I have to compete for my job. And there are guys that you just spent the last 2 or 3 years with that you already have rapport and relationship with. And in a Cam Coleman's case, I was the number one receiver in Alabama a couple years ago. But to you, now I'm just Cam Coleman, the guy from Auburn. That means not as much to Golish, and I don't think that it doesn't mean anything in the aspect of he doesn't understand or know how talented any of those guys, specifically from Auburn, are. I think it's just a situation, like I said, where, again, talking about another coach of ours, Coach DeBoer, he left Washington. A lot of guys departed because that system is about to change. We want to go to that system, and a lot of those guys we got from Washington. So, I mean, this is just the transfer portal now.
But I will say the fundamental difference between losing Coach Saban, going to Kalen DeBoer, and Auburn. Look how many coaches they've had over the past. They had good. If we go all the way back from the start of this decade, 2020, we go from Gus, Brian Harsin, Hugh Freeze, excuse my language, and now we're at Alex Gosers. We're at their fourth coach in a 6-year span. Okay, you're gonna lose some players
Either way
along
it
them
goes.
sorts. But the thing with Coach Saban is like, okay, Coach Saban built the process here, built the winning culture, and guess what? It's still some guys from Saban's, coaching reign. Ty Simpson, you hear him in the locker room before the Georgia game, sounding like Coach Saban. It's not about him, all right. It's about what we do. It's not about what they do, all right. Coach Saban mannerisms. So Auburn doesn't really have guys like that they can lean on and be like, okay, look, this is how we do things here, because they're really going to have to build everything from the ground up. The only thing Coach DeBoer was going to have to do, well, of course he was going to kind of turn it into his own sauce, but it's like he really just had to fall in place, plug and play, whatever guys you want, plus the guys that are already been here under Coach Saban, that's what we can do. But this right here is it's a whole different ball game as far as those two transitions. But even with it, and then this coach is not really proven. It was at the Group of 5 level. Like Lane Kiffin going from Ole Miss to LSU, he has some successful years at Ole Miss, so we know what he can do, and he can get some guys at LSU. He can turn it into that exact same thing. But you're stepping up, and we see a lot of these G5 coaches, Billy Napier, go from a G5 school and come to the SEC, and it hasn't worked. It doesn't work out. So you know what I'm saying. So, but that's kind of my spiel on that. So like, who do they have that is going to stay back and be like, hey guys, we here, this is what we going to do, we going to ride with this coach. But it's like you're missing the key players, and I do kind of miss the days like when you get a new coach, ain't nobody going to transfer because nobody wants to sit out there 1 year. I mean, you got some guys that probably would have, but now it's just, it's open season now. Hey, we can just leave and play it, go to the next school and play. And then like you got guys with big names, like throw a little bit of money at them. Hey, we got us. Yeah, we got us one, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what I got on that.
Deuce is about to get paid.
Well, what I heard, what I read just from a few articles, it was said that the reason why a majority of them were leaving was because the current coach, he believes that if you get an NIL, you need to earn it instead of just not producing and keeping it.
That's fair.
So if that's true, I think that might be the reason why you have this mass departure. Now, even though you got some key guys leaving, the plus to that, Auburn got the money. So you can go out in the portal.
Auburn got the money.
You can get you some talent. You can buy a team. They can buy a team. So they can turn around.
You might get half of USF's team from one player.
Yeah. And the portal is gonna open back up. So they can very well.
Yes.
Yeah. But I get what he's saying though.
Make the noise. Okay, he back, y'all. Say what?
No sound. We can't hear you.
You put your phone on Do Not Disturb, nephew.
All right. But yeah, to his point, man, that's a great point. It's just like I said, the NIL, the way it's set up, man, I could see them getting 10 of USF players off Cam Coleman money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he really just setting the tone for his team and his foundation. Obviously, the Auburn boosters and the front office has told him like, yo, we've already seen, we just went out and made a splash hire again for probably the last time. So now, you know what I'm saying? I think his leash is going to be a little bit longer. And I think that's why he's able to go in and tell them like, yo, you got to earn this. You got to earn your keep around here, because he's getting back. Like Ben said, they got the money. So that part's not the problem, but he's getting the backing of the administration. And as long as you got the backing of the administration, you can stand in front of these kids and tell them, we probably going to have a 2-win season next year. But if you don't want to be here, go home. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, I think that the silver lining to him as a Group of 5 coach, coming from a Group of 5 team, coming to a Power 5 team, is that he understands the grit and grind that it really does take for those guys to make that money. He's about to bless his quarterback that he just had last year into a new situation in a couple days, and everybody knows it. And so, you know, he has somebody that he has a team or players that are still in South Florida that he really believes in, that he knows that are going to come in and do the hard work, that already know the system. That's just, it is what it is. It ain't nothing you could do about that.
But also too, like that offense that he runs, like maybe we might finally get a guy to break through, but it doesn't really translate to pro level football. We seen
doesn't.
Jalen Hyatt light up Alabama for 5 catches, 6 catches, 5 touchdowns, over 200 yards. But we haven't seen him yet in the NFL. Got drafted by the Giants. Probably go back to Knoxville. Ain't got to pay for a damn thing ever. Long as he in Knoxville for what he did that night versus Alabama. But that system doesn't translate to the NFL at all. So that might play a reason to why some of those guys left as well, because as we've seen, offense can put up numbers, great. But what are these receivers? What are the results of some of the receivers that play in that system? What are they getting at in the NFL? Getting out of in the NFL now? You know what I'm saying? So that can also play a part too, as well, as far as why some of these guys are leaving. So we can kind of put a bow on that, but hopefully they get that fixed, and let's get back into playoffs. So how we gonna move up to the other side of the bracket? First game, New Year's Day, Miami Gardens, Capital One Orange Bowl. We got, speaking of spending money, $25 million roster in Texas Tech Red Raiders versus the beautiful uniforms of the Oregon Ducks. It's almost like, it's almost like opposites attract almost, but what do we think about this game?
I think Oregon gonna run them out the stadium. I watched that game when they played BYU. That game was boring. I think offensively, Oregon has a lot of firepower, and I don't think that $25 million roster gonna be able to keep up with it. That's my honest opinion. They ain't gonna be able to keep up with Oregon. Then they on turf, grass, whatever it is.
I mean, they play on turf too, so they play on that line, they play on grass.
Yeah, they play on that natural grass in the gardens.
Yeah. Offensively, Oregon, they too quick for Texas Tech. Now we gonna really see. Okay,
who's who?
Who's who? I got Oregon winning big. I ain't gonna lie. I got them winning big.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I'm with Fan. I quoted it the other day as saying the least intriguing game that actually still may actually be decent, and it's either gonna be a close competitive game and Texas Tech loses, or it's gonna be a blowout and Texas Tech loses. I think this is the part where we talk about the moment getting too big. I think this is the part where we talk about the lights getting too bright. I think this is the part where we saw Georgia slip up last year. The same thing happens to Texas Tech. Like we talked about, like we're going to talk about with Alabama, like we talked about with Ole Miss, like we talked about with I can't even remember who the other team or Miami. They just played. Oregon just played. They're ready to play again. That part's not a problem. I really like speaking of coaching again, I really like how Dan Lannon has his guys ready to go. And he always makes them feel that chip on their shoulder. And this is another great reason to have a chip on your shoulder. These guys, even though you can't name more than 2 players on the Texas Tech roster, and probably not really the Oregon roster either. I think I know 2. But
Dante Moore, and then the linebacker from Texas Tech. That's about it, honestly.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, other than that, I think it's going to be a half-witted decent game. I think it's probably going to be, like I said, one of those games that if you got something to go do and you want to go past the time while this game on and you prepping, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be, like, this is the time to do it. But, I mean, it's going to be a good one down in the Gardens, I'm not too fancied about it, but we'll see what happens. So, I don't know if I really made a prediction other than I guess saying that I think Oregon's going to
win. Be a little bit different here, actually.
Because you stay down there with me, folks. So why you doing?
Man, you know how far Lubbock, Texas is from Dallas, bro?
Yeah, out there with them folks.
That's West Texas, man. That's West Texas, man. Texas Tech, just like Indiana last year, they finally got in. Look what happened. Got the doors kicked off of them. Okay, we don't know if that's Texas Tech yet this year. But the way Oregon ended, you say Oregon coming in hot, but the way Oregon ended that game, granted, a bunch of you don't ever want to finish a game like that, because like we as fans can look like, okay, yeah, man, that was useless, but the coaches are not going to look at it that way. Like they're going to look at it, guys, we didn't execute the way we were supposed to, so you don't never want to end a game like that, giving up 500 yards to James Madison. So
wasn't the second strong if I'm not mistaken.
But it's just but like I said, it's just the fact that you don't want to finish a
It's the
game off
fact
like that.
of
Are
Yeah,
you
like
are
you
the
don't
I
second
ever
just
know.
think
string are the second string gonna start the game out January 1?
No, they not. But it's like I said, but still as a team, you want to send a message to your team to say, like, hey
Yeah,
guys,
I
this is
get
not
that.
this
They
not
got
the
them
way we
points.
finish it. Yeah.
They got them points with the reserves then, so that really don't. I
But
get what you're
yeah.
saying, but nah, that if they kept the first string
But
in, they
yeah.
probably would put up 7. To be honest,
Now
in
I
my
say
opinion, that would
Texas
be a
Tech.
nice.
Yeah, Texas Tech can fly around the football as we've seen. Like they played BYU twice, combined 7
Oh man,
turnovers
BYU.
both times. But
They got what number
they got some
47?
guys. Brock Meyer. But yeah, they got some guys out there at Texas Tech. Now this can go like
They ain't got no speed
one of
out there
3
though.
ways. One of 3 ways. They got more speed than James Madison. I say that. But this could be an Oregon blowout, a Texas Tech close win, or a shootout. Whoever get the ball last with the game.
I don't
This
think
is
it'll be
this
no
is
shootout.
where this is one of 3 ways. And the one I'm gonna choose the one in the middle. I'm gonna choose a Texas Tech close win. I think, and we all think. I just wanted to say that, but
We
I
all right.
think Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech can pull this off to start off a slew of. Well, not start off a slew of upsets because Miami plays the night before, but start the day off right with an upset in the Capital One Orange Bowl and move
Now
on to the semifinals. So,
I would like for Brown to play Texas Tech, but that might not happen.
but
Ideally,
so
I would
yeah,
like them to
that's
play
what I
Texas.
got. I'm gonna go Texas Tech because I think but like we said, it's been a while since they played. What we going on December 6th, conference championship weekend to January 1st. So that's roughly almost 4 weeks. Yes, so that's almost 4 weeks. So, but yeah, but we will see how long that layoff. And shout out to I can't remember the coach's name at Texas Tech, but
this Jerry Maguire.
solid coach. Yeah, Joey McGuire. Matter of fact,
Joy,
or
my
something
bad.
like that. Jerry Maguire, the baseball
That's a
movie.
baseball
But yeah,
player. I'm tripping.
yeah, but
That's
you think about Mark McGuire, but yeah, but now we getting into the reason why we're all here. The elephant in the room. The highlight of the show.
Yes, sir.
Granddaddy of them all.
Yes, sir.
Pasadena, California.
Yes, sir.
Rose Bowl.
Yes,
One
sir.
of the oldest bowl games in college football.
Yes, sir.
Anniversary of Alabama's first national championship season, 1925, by the way. I don't want to say first national championship season, but 100 anniversary of that year.
Years.
So, you got historically one of the best teams in college football going against one of the historically worst teams in college football in a collision course. The irresistible force meets the stoppable object in some people's mind, in theory.
Yes, sir.
In theory.
Yes, sir.
What are we looking forward to in this game? And it's going to be raining. And it don't rain in Southern California. Shout out to Tony. But for some reason, 2 inches of rainfall expected. And you know we can't run the ball. So what are we looking forward to in this game? New Year's Day, afternoon kickoff. I want to say, 3 o'clock Central Time, 1 o'clock West Coast Time. What are we looking forward to in this game versus the Indiana Hoosiers?
Well, first of all, we couldn't run the ball in the SEC because the SEC got defense. Second of all, Indiana gonna lose this game for 2 reasons. Number one, everybody's hyping you up. You've been good all year. You this, you that. Alabama's not the same. We all have played in big games. We all know it's been times we've been the underdog. But as soon as we hit that stadium, we put that gear on. We go out there and warm up. Excuse my language. Shit change. Stuff change. It's time. It's there. So now, when they step on that field against Bama, they see Bama on the other side. They on this side. They see how big Bama is. Bama gonna get the hollering, jumping, talk around. They gonna get intimidated. It's time.
So you think I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna ask this question, and I'm pretty sure you know. So you think it could turn into Alabama Notre Dame BCS National Championship?
It's time.
Yes.
It's time.
You gotta think about it. They've been hyped up all year. Bama is the underdog.
They ain't seen nobody like this.
And on top of that, Bama hasn't been this healthy since Georgia. So we haven't seen
Yeah.
this team since week 4. And you done gave them a break. And they
Yeah.
just came back on the road 17
Yeah.
down.
17.
Not to mention it was
Yeah.
cold. Now you're going to
Yeah.
It
California.
wasn't
They
that damn
said
cold, but
they
yeah, I get
said it might rain. I don't think it's gonna rain for real.
I don't think it's
you.
gonna
Yeah.
rain either. Not the
So
way they think.
once it's gonna be real, once they hit their field, it's gonna be like, okay, we really got 'em. We really
Yeah.
about to play Bama.
Yeah.
So I think they psychologically they gonna lose the game because they're gonna be nervous. They're gonna be uptight.
Pre-game,
Yeah.
too
Then
much pressure.
Mendoza, you the high.
And then the fact
Yeah.
that one of the historically worst teams in college football is almost a touchdown favorite on a team that has 18 national championships. I don't really care about all them other 12 before me. I care about the 6 that I actually got to see. 18 national championships, almost 1,000 wins. All these All-Americans, 4 Heisman Trophy winners. Under the Saban era, damn near 200 players drafted. And they're a touchdown underdog to a basketball school.
And I'm
Basketball
gonna go,
school, man.
and I'm gonna go on record to say this. Ryan Williams been quiet all year, but I guarantee you they get
This is
him
the game.
involved this game.
And
I
this is the
guarantee you
game.
they get him involved this game. Because
Yep.
Indiana's secondary is physical, but you got 4 to 5 people you got to guard. Ohio State, you got 2 or 3, but now you got to guard. You got to guard the whole field.
And a tight end.
Which is gonna open up the run game.
Yeah. Health is
My
such a
thing is too, like, I think each drive early on in the game, each drive, like in at least the first quarter or the first half, I think first 2 plays need to be something quick to Ryan Williams. Just like we talked about pre-show or post-show, whatever it was we talking about. He need to see the jumper go in. He need to see the ball hit his hands. Like I said, we don't care about the yak. We just, hey, you let the ball see your hands. Whatever happened after that, happened after that. If you pop a bubble screen for 5 yards, all right, cool. Now you see the ball hit your hands. Yeah, you will get them warmed up, and then all right, cool, we good to go.
Defense gonna be there. The defense gonna be there. I'm not worried about
the defense is gonna do what the defense does. And then, like you said, to your point, the only 3 players that are out, Dre Kirkpatrick suspended. That's almost been 2 months. And the other 2 guys, Beeman and Latham, they've been out since early in the season. So
they just done for the year.
Now you got Overton back.
You know,
oh my God.
Yeah.
And you got Kevin Riley and Jam fully healthy. Oh man.
Yeah. That's what, and again, that's what I said. That's what I said Sunday after we watched the game. Like, well, we got days to get healthy, and over those days, I can only imagine what it's like in their facility and their locker room right now. Like, as the days got closer to the game, and the more I read this rat poison that everybody putting out there about how we gonna get dominated, how they gonna beat us, how the dynasty is dead, how Indiana's the better team. Man, I've been getting, Finn almost just fired me up just then. Like, bro, all we got to do is go out there and be physical and fast. Physical and fast. Hit them in the mouth. These boys are from up north. Caleb Downs tried to tell y'all they ain't seen nothing like this.
Yeah, he tried to tell
They ain't seen nothing like this. Hey, I'm not talking about Latham. I'm not talking about Overton. I'm not talking about Rousseau. I'm not talking about Deontay Lawson. When the last time you seen somebody like Bray Hubbard come meet you in that hole and bring that thump to you? When the last time you seen an O-line that's going to give you the push that you need? And I think this is the time, because I actually think in the Big Ten Conference Championship in celebration, they lost one of their key defensive ends. That's another reason, just like Finn said, to celebrate the run game success before it even gets here. We got to go
Daniel
ahead and
Hill.
execute.
No, go ahead.
We got to go ahead
Daniel
and
Hill.
Yeah, man, that's all I'm saying. Like, we got to go out there and freaking execute. If the first 2 or 3 drives look the way that they did a couple weeks ago in Athens, Georgia, boy, I'm already headed to the Peach Bowl. I'm gonna meet them boys there and unlock the gate for them.
Then another thing,
man,
if Indiana ever gets down, how would they respond? Now, granted, you went down against Penn State, but Bama's not Penn State, so
yeah. I just think, and I say that, and I say all that to say, like, and I told myself I was gonna make sure that I said this. Don't get me wrong. hats off to Indiana, man.
Yeah,
Amazing season.
Well,
Their
a great
best
2 years.
season.
A great 2
Their
years.
yeah,
best,
A great
their
2
best
years.
season in
they've been
program
playing
history
good ball.
again. They got a Heisman win over there that I still expect to show up and play his game. They got a bunch of athletes over there that helped him get to this spot and helped their program get to this spot. I think Kurt, former Saban guy, great coach.
Google me.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, like I don't want to discredit Indiana whatsoever. But this show, this fandom, this person is about the tide. And if there was ever a game, I mean, all year I've been talking about resiliency. I don't want to talk about
Name of the
resiliency no
game.
more. I want to talk about being relentless. I want to talk about how we can go out here and dominate this game and move on to the Peach Bowl. That's all I want to know.
Versus them Texas Tech Red Raiders. Yeah, like we need to, like I said, we need to lean on the run game a little bit. It ain't got to be, I would say at least 35 to 40% of the game. Man, need to be involved with the run. Get Daniel Hill involved. I know y'all talking about Jam healthy, but hey man, somebody show if somebody show me who they is a million times, or to show me who they was the first time, I'm believing. I done seen Jam tiptoeing too many times.
And on top of that, have they hit anything like that in the Big Ten in regards to Daniel Hill? Somebody that's 6 foot 240.
Now I will say credit. I will give them credit as far as some of the offensive line in the Big Ten, like a school like Iowa. They know how to produce offensive line and tight end. Now they got some guys like that they done banged up against. Pause. But as far as a whole collective, I don't know.
And I think that's where it's gonna wear them down. You got athletes on the outside, and you got the big boys in the middle. It's gonna wear them down. Now, if the defense come out there that first drive gonna set the tone.
We definitely good. We definitely good. We definitely good if that defense go out there first.
And another thing I will say too, it's small stuff as well. Hey, if we seem to get into a funk like we was first quarter Oklahoma and we can't move the ball and we getting kickoff returns, don't return the ball, please. Let's just start at the 25.
I just don't see them being able to score effectively.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
I don't see that.
So
you play Diego Pavia.
let them.
You play
John Mateer twice.
John Mateer twice. Hell, Gunnar Stock. Who else?
Joy Aguilar.
Castellano, Eliano, whatever his name is. Who else? The kid from Auburn. You played 7.
Ashton Daniels. Well, they was dropping a lot of
You played a mobile quarterback literally every game you played. Mendoza, that's part of his game, but he doesn't want to run. He wants to throw the ball.
He not really. Stand in the pocket and deliver.
Yeah.
Then you got Quay.
And I think too as well that these guys play man coverage like because they went to Coach Womack. Hey man, changes up the man coverage, man. And look what happened in Oklahoma.
And I think Kane gonna start blitzing. He noticed that Oklahoma.
And I think they got.
If I blitz, I got the guys.
I would say too, they got better receivers.
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got 2. Sarat.
I know what his name. Sarat is. Yeah, he like that. Sarat like that. Sarat is like that.
But we got Brown.
Welcome to he gotta go holler at ZB and Dijon Lee. I don't want to see no DeMonte Jackson. Hell, I don't even want to see Sav for real out there running with his eyes closed. But every time he get a free shot on the quarterback, running with his eyes closed.
He run right past him.
Hey man, like I said.
You saying bring hold on.
I like I like the energy y'all bringing though. Y'all begging to see like it's gonna be like I said the BCS championship game.
I'm telling you, man,
like, this is when you can hoard the talent.
They gonna come out there, their shirts all mother short and stuff, and the boy gonna get loud, and the boy gonna get scared. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a mental thing.
Somebody just need to play that Damian Square video. The man in the stand, the man on the field got to see me.
Mentally,
talking that noise because they're scared.
Indiana is gonna lose the game mentally before pregame. I'm telling you.
We Bama, that's what we do. But yeah, I can kind of see that. I ain't really got too much left on this, man. We're going to come back and unpack everything like we always do. You know, he ended up dealing with kids and trying to run a podcast at the same time. So, but y'all forgive him, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat. Anybody out there watching. But we just going to go ahead and close out. What's going on, Lonnie? Sad. But yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? But roll tide. Anybody happy new year, y'all, and just hope everybody enjoy their holiday. Have a great new year. 2026 is upon us, and we will be back, and we will have more for you in the
Be
upcoming
back
years. As
Sunday.
far as let me say this as a
As a wise
collective.
man once said, see you on Sunday.
Yes, sir. Roll tide, y'all boys, and I'm out.